Usapin natin si Clarice. Clarice,
Sir,
yung ba ang papunta sa inyo Santa Elena? Saan ba papasok yun? San Pedro, San Pablo, San Felix? Ay, papunta sa inyo. Ang layo.
San Felix po.
San Felix. Lumapit kayo sa Makiling, ano? Paris?
Hindi po.
Malayo kayo sa Makiling. Ay. Malaluhan. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Another opportunity for us to learn more. Now, this time about auditing. Now, in particular, a risk-based audit process. And first one to speak on the topic this afternoon, si... Oh, gumakita dito sa aking screen. Nawala. Si Diana. Diana, you can now hear us on screen what you have learned, what you have read, what you have studied.
I will discuss the overview of risk elements affecting an audit. Figure 9.1 illustrates the relationship among these risks. First, factors affecting business risk, economic climate. Ito yung changes in economic status of the company, technological change. Sa panahon ngayon, mahalaga ang technology dahil kung wala ito, magiging hadlang to sa paglago ng business. Competition, yung hindi kayang sumabay sa mga competitors. Kagaya nung sa technology na parang napapag-iwanan na. Business volatility. Volatility means quickly change and unpredictable. Example nito ay inflation or deflation. Geographic location, ito naman yung mga business na hindi maganda yung location kaya nalulugi sila. Next, factors affecting financial reporting is competence and integrity of management, incentive to management to misstated financial statement. Example nito ay kunwari may quota yung sales. Maaaring magkaroon ng accrual sa financial statement para kunwari naabot yung quota pero hindi naman pala. Hindi siya totoo kaya doon papasok yung competence and integrity. Dahil may accrual na ni-record kahit hindi naman totoo, misstated siya sa financial statements at maaapektuhan nito ang financial reporting. Complexity of transactions. The more complexity of transactions or the more it is complicated, the more it is risky. Internal control. These are the rules and procedures implemented by company to ensure the integrity of financial and accounting information. Nagmumula itong mga factors na to sa kliyente and its environment. Business risk and financial reporting risk affects engagement risk which affects audit risk too. Na-discuss na to kahapon. Business risk daw ay is risk that affect the operations and potential outcomes of organizational activities. Financial reporting risk is risk that relate directly to the recording of transactions and the presentation of financial data. Engagement risk is risk that relates to the auditor's exposure to financial loss and damage to his or her professional reputation. Audit risk is defined as the risk that the auditor fails to find material misstatements in the client's financial statements and thereby inappropriately issues an unqualified opinion on the financial statements. The auditor can control audit risk in two different ways. First, avoid audit risk by not accepting certain companies as clients. In other words, reduce engagement risk to zero. Second, set audit risk at a level that the auditor believes will mitigate the likelihood that the auditor will fail to identify material misstatements. In controlling audit risk, the auditor must recognize that it is not possible to ever completely eliminate audit risk, but it can be reduced by doing more work. However, doing more work raises audit risk, which may create tension with the client and its management. Hindi matatanggal ng auditor ang audit risk pero mami-minimize ito by doing more work. And by doing more work, tataas yung audit fees. At the broadest level, business risk and financial reporting risk originate with the audit client and its environment. And these risks then affect the auditor's engagement risk and audit risk. The effectiveness of risk management processes will determine whether a company or audit firm continues to exist. A number of factors affect a client's business risk. For example, the overall economic climate, favorable or unfavorable, can have a tremendous effect on the organization's ability to operate effectively. Economic downturn, technological change, competitor actions, new product lines also affect business risk. Financial reporting risk could arise from issues such as asset impairments. Asset impairments is means carrying value of the assets exceeds the market value. Mark-to-market accounting naman, the price are marked to current price or market price. Warranties, pensions, estimates, as well as competence in integrity of management and its incentives to misstate the financial statements. Business risk and financial reporting risk may affect each other. For instance, management facing strong competition and weak financial results may be motivated to circumvent a weak internal control system or to take advantage of complex financial instruments to achieve desired financial reporting results that do not necessarily portray economic reality. Audit firms have discovered that being associated with companies with poor integrity creates risk that can destroy the audit firm or significantly increase the cost of conducting the audit. The risk-based audit process, although specific audit procedures vary from one engagement to the next, the following stages are involved in every engagement. Phase 1, risk assessment. This phase involves the following activities: A. Performance of preliminary engagement activities to decide whether to accept or continue an audit engagement. B. Planning the audit to develop an overall audit strategy and audit plan. C. Performance of risk assessment procedures to identify or assess risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity. During this phase, the auditor adopts a broad, of, broad view of the client as a whole and the industry in which it operates. The auditor focuses on gaining an understanding of the client in order to plan the audit. And the auditor has to consider the risk of material misstatement in the client's financial report. Phase 2, risk response. This phase covers the following activities: A. Designing overall responses and further audit procedures to develop appropriate responses to the assessed risk of material misstatement. B. Implementing responses to assess risk of material misstatement to reduce audit risk to an acceptably low level. This is the phase where the auditor does the detailed testing work for the audit based on the results of the risk assessment phase. Phase 3, reporting. This phase involves the following activities: A. Evaluating the audit evidence obtained to determine what additional audit work, if any, is required. B. Forming an opinion based on audit findings and preparing the auditor's report. This phase is when the auditor completes their work and issues the appropriate audit work.
Tapos na ba yun? Okay. So, there. So the word, the keyword risk, okay? Detection, management of risk, okay? And now to make the ill effects of risk to the minimum, ano? But that is not the concern anyway of the auditor, no? Okay, but detection of risk that may influence his approach in doing the audit. Okay, so we go to the next topics to be presented by the woman from Santa Elena. Clarice?
Good afternoon, everyone. Phase 1A, Performance of Preliminary Engagement Activities. Introduction. At the beginning of the current audit engagement, the auditor should perform the following activities. A. Perform procedure required by PSA 220, quality control of an audit of financial statements regarding the continuance of the client relationship and a specific audit engagement. Dito, pasok dito yung pag-evaluate ng integrity sa pag-audit ng or sa pagpe-perform ng preliminary engagement. If a management lacks of integrity, this usually results to a high audit risk. An audit firm should avoid association with clients whose management lacks of integrity. Letter B. Evaluate compliance with ethical requirements including independence as required by PSA 220. Independence is important because upon here lies the credibility of the audit opinion. If the auditor upon the eyes of the intended user is not independent, they will not believe what is written in the auditor's report. An audit firm must ensure that they have no ties or personal interest in the client in order to ensure independence. Letter C. Establish the understanding of the terms of engagement as required by PSA 210, agreeing the terms of audit engagement. Dito naman na magme-make na ng decision whether ma-accept yung engagement or hindi. Performing the preliminary engagement activities at the beginning of the current audit engagement assists the auditor in identifying and evaluating events or circumstances that may adversely affect the auditor's ability to plan and perform the audit engagement. Sa pagpe-perform ng preliminary engagement activities, sa una is kailangan mo nang ma-assist yung auditor sa pag-identify at evaluating ng events or circumstances na pwedeng makaapekto sa pagpaplano o pagpe-perform ng isang audit engagement. Performing these preliminary engagement activities enables the auditor to plan an audit engagement for which, for example, the auditor maintains the necessary independence and ability to perform the engagement. Yun nga po yung sinabi ko kanina na dapat dapat ma-maintain ng isang auditor ang independence para magkaroon siya ng or may ability siya na ma-perform ng ayos yung engagement. There are no issues with the management integrity that may affect the auditor's willingness to continue the engagement. Dito naman dapat ang client mo is may integrity para hindi maapektuhan yung paggagawa ng auditor ng engagement. There is no misunderstanding with the client as to the terms of the engagement. Kailangan yung client at saka yung auditor na nagagawa ng or in terms of the engagement, dapat hindi sila magkaroon ng misunderstanding. Dapat lagi silang nagkakaintindihan. The auditor's consideration of client continuance and ethical requirements, including independence, occurs throughout the audit engagement as condition and changes in circumstances occur, performing initial procedures on both client continuance and evaluation of ethical requirements, including nga yung independence. At the beginning of the current audit engagement means that they are completed prior to the performance of other significant activities for the current audit engagement. For continuing audit engagement, such initial procedures often occur shortly after or in connection with the completion of the previous audit. Client selection and relation. The auditor consideration of client continuance and ethical requirements, including independence, occurs throughout the audit engagement as condition and changes in circumstances occur. However, the auditor initial procedures on both client continuance and evaluation of ethical requirements, including independence, are performed prior to performing other significant activities for the current audit engagement. For continuing audit engagement, such initial procedures often occur shortly after or in connection with the conclusion of the previous audit. Sa preliminary engagement activities, dito nag-e-evaluate whether i-accept yung client at mag-establish ng basic engagement. Yung ethical requirements, yun ay tumutukoy sa Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants. The Most CPA firms are desirous and anxious to obtain new clients. Some new engagement are easily obtained transactions such as the acquisition of a company by an existing client and the client's desire to have the entire audit performed by one CPA firm. Others are obtained competitively through social contacts, which lead to a request that the CPA firm submit a proposal for performing the company's annual audit. Such prospective clients many ranges from start-up companies seeking their first audit to long-established companies seeking a replacement of their current auditor. Sabi dito na ang most CPA firms ay ay desirous na mag-obtain ng bagong kliyente para sa bagong engagement kasi sa paggawa ng bagong engagement easily obtained through business transaction na such as the acquisition of a company by an existing client. Sabi din dito, it is essential for a CPA firm to maintain its integrity, objectivity, and reputation for providing high-quality services. The auditor should plan the audit so that the engagement will be performed in an effective manner. No auditor can afford to be regularly associated with clients who are engaging in management fraud or other unlawful activity. Wala na bang auditor na ang client gusto yung engaging sa fraud or other unlawful activities. Before accepting an engagement, the CPA should investigate the history of the prospective client, including such matters as the identities and reputation. Siyempre, bago mag-accept ng isang engagement sa pag-audit, kailangan muna nilang alamin kung yung isang kliyente kung meron bang mga fraud or yung may mga masasamang ginawa ganun, including such matters as the identity and reputation of the directors, officers, and major shareholders. To help assess engagement risk, the auditor generally obtain management permission to make inquiries of other third parties. Example, client, banker, or legal counsel about a prospective client. Generally, CPAs choose to avoid engagement entailing a relatively high engagement risk. Others may accept such engagement, recognizing the need to expand audit procedures to offset the high risk level. To reduce their own business risk, public accounting firms try to carefully manage their audit engagement. An important element of a public accounting firm's quality control policies ang quality control procedures at the engagement level that provide the auditor with reasonable assurance needs to comply with professional standards and regulatory and legal requirements, and the auditor's report issued is appropriate in the circumstances. Public accounting firms are not obligated to accept undesirable clients, nor are they obligated to continue to serve clients when relationship deteriorate or when the management comes under a cloud of suspicion. In addition to evaluating engagement risk, the auditor should assess whether they can complete the audit in accordance with the Philippine standard on auditing, which are based on international standards on auditing. The CPA must determine whether there are conditions that would prevent them from performing an independent audit of the client. Consideration will also be given to whether the partners and staff have the necessary competence and capability to conduct the audit. So, kailangan ang CPA is competence at capable sa pagkakandak ng audit. At ma-determine nila yung mga condition na magpe-prevent sa pagpe-perform ng independent audit ng isang kliyente. In summary, before accepting the engagement with a new client, the CPA firm shall assess whether it is competent to perform the engagement and has the capabilities, including time and resources. Bago i-accept yung engagement ng isang bagong kliyente, ina-assess muna nila kung ito ba ay competent na ma-perform or maipakita at kung capable, including time and resources. Number 2, can comply with the relevant ethical requirements. Yun nga yung mga ethical requirements, yung mga code of ethics na kailangan or yung mga requirements na needed para malaman na independence at competent yung kliyente. Number 3, has considered the integrity of the client and does not have information that would lead it to conclude the client's lack integrity. The CPA firm shall likewise establish whether the preconditions for an audit are present, such as whether the financial reporting framework to be applied in financial statements are acceptable and agreement of management that it acknowledges and understands its responsibility. Yun lang po.
Okay, so very nice listening to familiar words like that, for a student of auditing and also for the auditing practitioners, that at time to be reminded of what is written in authoritative auditing books. No? Kasi even auditing professionals unconsciously nakakalimutan ang mga importanteng nakasulat sa mga auditing textbooks. Ano? So, many good words and sentences to remind even the auditors doing practice, and also for those who should be introduced to auditing. No? But there are so many matters to be considered. Like you are already doing the auditing work. Okay. So we don't have any more report there, no? Okay. Mahaba pa tayong free time this listening time. Okay, any question at this point? If there is none, open your camera. Okay. Our photographer this evening, Rain, 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 Rain. Nora si Rain, Rain. Rain. Ah, ayaw mo makita sa... Ayaw ka magpakita? Rain, nandiyan ka ba? Oh, sige. Just say 1, 2, 3. Smile kami. Okay. Okay. Iniisip ko sa face-to-face kung mag-i-screenshot pa tayo. No? Malamang hindi na. Oh, class, another day. Bukas magkikita pa rin tayo. No? Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you po, sir.
Uh,
Thank you po.